Alright, what's up? Just want to make a short video about some scripture I read tonight that seems very important to me. The Lord's impressing it upon me right now to make a little video about it, and we'll see how it goes. I always just want to do what He wants me to do, and don't always succeed, but I want to do my best, and I hope and pray that we all either do or will get to that point at some point in time. And I just pray that the Lord right now would just open up your spiritual eyes and ears to hear and receive this message that He wants to speak to you, and just pray that I'll be a willing vessel for Him to use to reach in there and open you up. Alright, we're going to read short passage out of Zechariah, and it's in Zechariah chapter 5. Zechariah chapter 7 actually, and we're going to read, let's see, where do I want to start? Let's start in verse 8. So Zechariah chapter 7 verse 8. I'm going to do a new thing. I'm going to use two different cameras. Thus speaketh Yahweh of hosts, saying, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassions every man to his brother, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law, and the words which Yahweh of hosts hath sent in his Spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from Yahweh of hosts. Therefore it is come to pass, that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, saith the Lord of hosts, which is Yahweh. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations, whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through, nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. There's just a few things that I really feel important. I mean, of course, there's a lot of important things to talk about in this passage, but a few things I want to touch upon. You can have so many different directions from different people, depending on where they're coming from, to try to explain what this means. And they'll say it doesn't have a place for now, or whatever. They look at Old Testament, and they look at the time and the place it happened, and they say that applied for that time and place, and it was specific to that time and place, and that's just not the case. Especially when you're talking about someone like Zechariah or Isaiah or any of the prophets. We know prophecy is layered. Lonnie, what are you doing, buddy? But anyways, this particular message, especially with starting at the beginning where we started with verse 9, where he's explaining this is what you should do, and then explaining a specific situation where they didn't listen. And this is the case where it says they hardened their hearts. They made them as an adamant stone. I see this all the time when you're trying to talk to somebody about the Lord, and they're just rock solid in their spirit when they want to hear you, because of the misconception of what they've dealt with in the past, spiritually, or by other people that call themselves Christians, or been in church situations, or so many different things could have happened that close their eyes, that they make themselves close their eyes to the Lord on your message that you'll try to present to them. They may think that you're trying to be some kind of high and mighty person, and you're not. We've all been there. We've all been down those bad roads, and those of us who really care don't at all want to try to blow a bunch of steam at somebody to make them think that we're some great person, because we're not. But the point that I want to get to is the part that when they harden their hearts, these are not people, and if you go back and you read this, these are people that know Yahweh. These are His children. These aren't just random strangers. He never speaks to just random strangers in Scripture. Most of the time, He's speaking directly to His children. Those who know Him, those who have sought Him, those who have had experiences with Him, who have opened their hearts and eyes to Him. And a lot of people try to preach this stuff at people who don't even know Him, and then it just pushes them farther away. This is for you, those people who have the hardened hearts that know His Word, stuck in a certain way, shape, mindset, or whatever. And it says, if basically they hardened their hearts towards God because they didn't want to hear the law. They didn't want to hear the things that He wanted to say to them that you needed to do, that He commanded, His commandments. They wanted to do it their way. They got caught up in their own fun and their power of what they were doing or whatever it is, and it happens all the time. And because of that, this is the point, what did He do? It said that because what happened, they didn't hear His word. They didn't hear the prophecies and the things that His prophets spoke. They ignored it, just like the Pharisees did with Yeshua. And so what it says that happened is that He poured out wrath. And how would that happen? How did it explain it happen? And it said that He cried unto them, and they didn't listen. They didn't hearken to Him. So what happened was, when they turned around in their time of need, later on, when they were like in need and all the fun was over, and they cried out to Him, He didn't listen to them. He didn't listen back. This is Yahweh. This is our God. This is how He is. There's so much to this book that people play off and say that God's just gonna do blah 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 blah, and you're gonna be you can do whatever you want, you'll be fine. He has limits. His great, I mentioned this before, and I just had a discussion with some people, and it's a good time to talk about it. But scriptures that talk about His grace is sufficient and abundant, and His mercy is abundant, and they combine those two things, and that Yeshua established